From a massive malfunction in goal line technology to criticism coming to one of the best goalkeepers in world football to 2 defeats from 2 for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal, where do they go from here? There has been a lot going on in the first weekend back of Premier League football, and today we're going to talk about it. Let's get into it.
England's highest quality title race of all time, but coming out on top again in the Premier League, Manchester City.
Hello guys, how are we getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly. You're very welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. It does feel good to be back in sort of the natural setting. It's been a while since we've done a proper sit-down Premier League Verdict, me and you, having an old chat. Before we get into today's video, make sure you are subscribed to the channel with notifications on. We are very, very close to 300 subscribers. The support on the channel has been pretty decent recently, but I know we can do even better, so let's get to 300 ASAP. So for this video, I said at first I kind of thought I might round up all the week's fixtures, because obviously in the last Verdict video a couple of days ago I talked about just Chelsea. Instead of just rounding up every single game, I've decided I'm just gonna I've picked out 3 major talking points from the first weekend back, or the first week back of Premier League football that we're going to discuss. Starting off with the very first game, ladies and gentlemen. It wouldn't be the Premier League without getting a little bit of controversy straight off the bat. So Aston Villa were playing Sheffield United at Villa Park in the first game back since the restart. Let's be honest, it was a very, very, apart from this one incident, uneventful game, I would say. It was a 0-0 draw between two of the newly promoted sides. For a first game back, it was kind of as you expected. There wasn't a huge amount of energy in the game. Not too many clear-cut chances, but there certainly was one moment that caused for massive controversy. So picture the scene. 42nd minute, Sheffield United get a free kick out on the left hand side. Oliver Norwood is standing over it. He whips in a wicked ball towards the back post, and Neeland in goal catches it for Villa, but actually falls back into his own net and is actually pushed back into his own net by his own striker, Keenan Davis. Goal line technology, Michael Oliver's watch does not buzz, and the goal is not given. And just to make matters even worse for Sheffield United, you know, just when we thought we had these kind of issues behind us, because there's been so many massive moments I've called for goal line technology down the years, and so far, since it's been introduced, goal line technology has been a very, very good thing for football. It's, you know, solved a lot of problems. But when it malfunctioned on this one occasion, we now have the introduction of the video assistant referee, which if a decision like this is missed, it's usually like an offside or maybe a free kick in the build-up to a goal that they have to pull back. There's never been a point where goal line technology has failed and VAR has come to overrule it, but this was its chance to show that it is for the greater good of football. Could it do it? Nada! I realise I just said nothing, not no. Shite. Yeah, boys and girls, VAR did not overrule the decision to not award Sheffield United what was a blatant goal, and the game went on to finish 0-0, and rightly so. Chris Wilder was absolutely livid after the game, and I genuinely think, boys, that had a mental knock-on effect going into their game Sunday against Newcastle. Obviously they lost that game 3-0. Goals scored by Sam Maximan and by Richie, and Joe Linton made it 3. And I genuinely think that they were so bummed out about, because the thing about it, lads, that game against Villa was Sheffield United's game in hand, and if they had won that game, they would have gone into 5th. And as things currently stand, obviously Manchester City are still waiting on their appeal to not have themselves banned from Champions League football for the next 2 seasons. But as things currently stand, if Sheffield United were to have won that game against Aston Villa, they would be well in the driving seat to get Champions League football. So without a doubt, Chris Wilder, you know, is well within his right to be absolutely livid. They did admit at halftime that the video assistant referee just wasn't working. It was malfunctioning, and we've seen throughout all the games the following weekend that, or at the weekend, that they were testing the goal line technology to make sure it was working, but for whatever reason it wasn't working. Okay, big deal. VAR should have awarded the goal, and I can't, that's the bit I can't get my head around. Whatever about goal line technology malfunctioning or, you know, just not working at that one moment. Look, things happen. But VAR has specifically been brought in to come in and correct mistakes that have happened on the pitch in real time. And obviously the goal line technology, it's the buzzer of the watch, so it is real time. So I don't know why VAR haven't come in and just given that goal. That's the one bit that baffles me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Moving on to our second story of the weekend then, and Tottenham played out a 1-1 draw with Manchester United at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Stevie Bergwijn gave Tottenham the lead before a late penalty scored by Bruno Fernandes, won by Paul Pogba when he was fouled by Eric Dyer. And the big talking point of this game, ladies and gentlemen, was, Roy Keane's comments on Manchester United as a whole after the game, but particularly the comments made about David De Gea. Now, obviously, Tottenham's goal, the Stevie Bergwijn one, easily avoidable. He dribbles past Harry Maguire with absolute ease. Again, smashes a powerful shot at David De Gea, but he parries it into his own net, and the David De Gea that we know saves that more often than not, or the David De Gea of a couple of seasons ago. Becoming worrying now for Manchester United that this is one of their best players, if not their best player, and he's playing like this. Like, I don't know what the story is. A lot of people were speculating that it could be about his contract. I'm not sure whether or not he's signed a contract yet, but there was talks that he always wanting to go to Real Madrid, and that was always his goal. Is he still trying to play for a way out? Because even pre-lockdown, I remember one of Manchester United's final games before the football ended was a game at Goodison Park in which David De Gea was just messing around on the ball, and he kicks it straight off Calvert-Lewin and it goes in. It'd be worrying enough. It was just like a patchy, a bit of patchy form. But this has been going on for the last 12 to possibly even 18 months. Because you think about, I only remember there this morning, it's just over a year ago now since me and Jack obviously recorded the first episode of the Shy Talk podcast. And in that episode, we talked about Manchester United's defeat at the Nou Camp to Barcelona in the Champions League. And in that game, David De Gea obviously threw in a goal from Messi. And there was plenty of other incidents leading up to that. So it's not as if this is just a new thing. This has been going on for quite a while. Has David De Gea mentally moved on from Manchester United? I don't know, because his form suggests that his mind is definitely elsewhere. And I don't know how they're going to solve this. Maybe he's worried about the prospect of Dean Henderson coming back, because obviously he's had a wonderful couple of seasons with Sheffield United. Even better now for him that he's done it in the Premier League with Ollie watching. Maybe it's constantly in the back of his mind that, okay, we have a good young keeper coming back from his loan spell next season. And to be honest, based on this season's form and even last season's form, if Dean Henderson comes back and performs anywhere near what he has done for Sheffield United, he's got to be a shoe-in to start for Manchester United. And I know that sounds incredible, but David De Gea, I don't know what's wrong with him. I honestly don't know. It could be a mental thing about maybe his mind is elsewhere. Maybe he wants to go to Real Madrid, but realistically, are Real Madrid going to go and sign another keeper with Thibaut Courtois already there? I don't know. It's a really bad situation for Manchester United. Harry Maguire didn't exactly cover himself in glory either. A 1-1 draw, saved by the Bruno Fernandes penalty after some lovely work from Paul Pogba. But that's got to be the biggest talking point. David De Gea, he's completely lost at this point, lads. Moving into our final point of conversation of the video then, and after 2 defeats from 2 since the restart, 0 points out of a possible 6, where do Arsenal and Mikel Arteta go from here? There was so much talk about, before Christmas with Unai Emery, that he was the biggest problem and that he needed to go and that he wasn't a great man manager at all. And obviously there was a little bit of a resurgence when Arteta came in, but now Arsenal have fallen back into the same pattern of not looking like they want to play for the badge. And I think the tip of the iceberg being now when they were defeated 2-1 at Brighton at the weekend. Obviously they got off to a flying start. Nicola Pepe gave them the lead, and then Lewis Dunk equalised, and then pretty much last minute winner from Neil Maupay after some good link up between himself and Aaron Connolly. Yeah, it was a massive 3 points for Brighton because, first game back, they're still not completely clear of the relegation places, but that was a massive victory. And obviously Arsenal now down to 9th in the table, and it's incredible. It's incredible that a club like Arsenal continues to be this. I wouldn't even say, is it mediocrity or is it less than that? Because I remember Arsenal back when I first started watching football being one of the most threatening teams you could come up against. They've never quite been the same, Arsenal, since they moved to the Emirates, and maybe that's a financial thing. Maybe they haven't, up until this point, they haven't had an awful lot of money to spend, but now they've had the situation now where they can spend money because, you know, they've been in the stadium so long, a lot of the debts that they needed to pay have been paid off. It's not as if they've not gone out and spent money. You look at like the money spent on 50 million for Lacazette, 40 million for Ozil, which when back when he signed was still a decent wad of money, you know. Aubameyang was probably around 60 million, was he? And then you have like Nicola Pepe, who hasn't really hit the ground running. Obviously scored a beautiful goal at the weekend, but hasn't really hit the ground running on a consistent basis. 72 million. So you're looking at over 200 million worth of forward there. Mesut Ozil continues to be a massive problem because he's on a massive wage, 350 grand a week to sit on the bench, and sometimes not even sit on the bench. For the Man City game on Wednesday, he wasn't even in the 20-man squad, and according to Arteta, he wasn't fit, or he wasn't ready to play. Like, what do you mean he wasn't ready to play? The man has been off for 3 months. Like, unless someone has an incredibly long-term sustained injury, and with 3 months off, you should be able to play. And you wonder what they're going to do in the summer now, transfer-wise. Like, it's like you have a lot of players there, big players, two in particular being like Ozil and Aubameyang, are running down their contracts, quite evidently so, and it'll just be a question of who goes first. Because like we had a similar situation, didn't we, when Alexis Sanchez was leaving Arsenal. Ozil was also running down the contract, and then Arsenal knew they couldn't really afford to lose both of them. I don't know. Do they need to get rid of some of these big names and really rebuild it back to top? I think Arteta definitely has it in him, and I think when you spend 3.5 years under Pep Guardiola, you've certainly got to, you know, pick something up. But this is his first job, and if I'm being honest, lads, I don't really think Mikel Arteta could have picked a worse first job to go into. When you play for a football club, you should be willing to die for that shirt. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense. That's how I want my players to be. Look at that Arsenal squad now. How many of them would really die for that shirt? Like, really? Obviously, there's a lot of controversy with Maupay at the weekend as well. I don't think there was an awful lot in that fucking challenge, lads. Realistically, he nudges Leno in the back as he's in the air. Yes, it's a foul, and we acknowledge it was a foul. The referee acknowledged it was a foul and gave Arsenal a free. It was just unfortunate the way Bernd Leno landed on his leg, and obviously his knee looked like a pretty serious one, but really not well handled by the Arsenal players, the way they were all surrounding Maupay after the game, and when the incident just happened, not really on, to be honest with you. So boys, I think that's where I am going to wrap it up today. I think I might do 2 verdicts a week, where I'll do a Chelsea one and then I'll do another one where I talk about like the 3 big headlines that I think from the weekend are the most relevant. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts on the whole goal line technology thing with Sheffield United. Let's just hope something like that never fucking happens again. Also the whole thing with David De Gea's form. If you're a Man United fan, comment down below, would you sell De Gea and make a bit of money off him now and start playing Dean Henderson from the start next season? Is that what you want? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And also finally, Arsenal fans, let me know how you guys are feeling at the minute, because I know it must be a very fucking tough time for you lot at the minute. But yeah, no, apart from that, boys and girls, I hope you did enjoy. Make sure you do leave a like if you did, and subscribe down below with your notifications on, or else you will not be notified about the videos. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Good luck.